Dominic.
Present.
Lennon Johnson.
Present.
Jackson. Lynn. Bowman. Cawthorn. James
Present.
Watts.
Present.
Middleton. Atkins.
Here.
Chavez. Smith. Lewis Johnson. We have a quorum, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll have our invocation by the chair and our pledge of allegiance by Vice President Chavez. If you would, please stand. God, how we come humbly before your throne of grace and mercy, Lord, giving your name the praise and the honor that you duly deserve. God, we invite you into this meeting on today, Lord, and we ask, Father God, that the decisions that we make are pleasing and acceptable in your sight. God, we thank you for everything you have done for us up until this very moment, Lord. God, we thank you for the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is in Jesus Christ's holy name that we pray, and all say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Everybody in the room, please face the flag. If you are a veteran or prior military, you may render a hand of brow salute. Please place your right hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez.
Yes, Chair.
Mr. Clerk, I have no agenda additions. Do you have any?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay.
We'll
Next
move to-
item, sir.
We'll move to citizen comments.
Citizens who wish to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward to the president or the clerk of the commission. I have 2 cards. Mr. Craig B. Lee.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Craig Lee, 1112 Prospect Street. I just wanted to echo as we prepare for this budget as we go into the new year. Wanted to finish up some old business as it relates to the removal of the Confederate statue, making sure that the budgetary items are secured for this. But I want to make sure that the funding for this does not exceed anything that is not bidded out, at least 3 or more bids, to make sure we get the lowest bid so that this could be removed. 2020 is going to be an important year for the city of Shreveport and the parish of Caddo, so that we can begin the process of moving this city and this parish forward. Right now, the city of Shreveport, of course, is at a major deficit. We're at a net negative job loss. We have population leaving the city left and right. We have to now begin the process of moving this city and this parish forward. And I think that begins really with the Caddo Parish Commission. You guys can set the tone with the right and appropriate measures on today, making sure that these funds are dedicated. The votes have been taken. We've gone from the flag removal down to now the approval of the statue being removed. And I just urge you guys to make sure that we do the right thing so that we can move forward in 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next card is Jackie Nichols.
Jackie Nichols, 433 Albert Avenue, Shreveport, 71105. Shreveport Chapter, United Daughters of the Confederacy members are taxpayers. Recently, we showed our lack of confidence in local government by voting down the bond proposals. Voters will not trust officials unless you stop wasting our money. You have not considered all of the details on how much the proposed monument move would cost. Your quote is over 4 years old. Our stone expert estimated 2 years ago at least $1.2 million, a low estimate of what the final cost might be. Costs are up, not down. A 2017 CNN News article said Mayor Mitch Landrieu originally estimated their removal cost to be $170,000. But the controversial removal of the 4 Confederate monuments in New Orleans cost the city $2.1 million, far more than what it said the price tag would be. The increased cost, all of which the city bore, comes from lengthy litigations and safety concerns. The city shelled out more than 7,000 hours in paid time and more than 3,000 hours in overtime to crews who took down the monuments and brought them to storage. It is not your responsibility as our elected officials to remove or rewrite our history. There are more pressing matters that need your attention. We voters are not happy with how our taxes have been or want to be spent. Our sculpture is costing the parish nothing, but you want to use our money to punish the citizens of the parish today for mistakes in the distant past. Everyone suffered. The Confederates were forgiven and made American veterans. We need to forgive each other and agree to disagree over the Civil War. In 2016, I proposed that the money discussed could be better used to fund a civil rights struggle exhibit on the vacant floor of the courthouse. I urged that other monuments be built through private donations and signage added to express the differing viewpoint like many other cities have done. But you would not listen to the advisory committee trying to save the parish money. Now is your chance to step back from making a very costly and unpopular mistake. Listen to the taxpayers. I would ask you to remove the earmarked $500,000 from the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no other cards, Mr. Clerk. I'm sorry, I do have another one. Ms. Irma Rogers.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
President Watts, Vice President Chavez,
Thank you.
other commissioners, Mr. Wilson, Dr. Wilson, and staff. We'd like to pause to say thank you. Thank you for the funds we received last year. We do believe that we have put these funds to very good use. One of the latest things we just did in the past 2 weeks is 125 turkey baskets, plus 8 dinners. The dinners are relegated only to the senior citizens who qualify. These are people who are handicapped. They are in like the riding handicap chairs. They may be blind, or they have people coming in to help them within their apartments and in their facilities. We relegate those just for them. The others we spread between 2 communities, MLK and Moortown. And those families were chosen, some of them by Moortown Neighborhood Association, and the others were taken to a church. So those are some of the things that we do with your monies. In the spring, we had 9 tutors, 6 of them at Green Oaks High School, and 3 of them at Northside Elementary, because we do partner with another organization within our community to cover the other elementary school. So we choose 2 and they chose 1. We have seen the gains. If you notice the parish gains this year, Caddo scored above almost every other parish in the state for the first time. So our tutoring, and we do in the spring tutoring, we do go into the schools. And these are all certified teachers. Most of them work for the school system. We carry 2 engineers, and everyone else is a certified teacher, either active or retired. Now that we have a facility, we've been able to spread out the tutoring during the school year. The check we wrote just a couple of weeks ago to pay for the school uniforms since August was over $3,000. We could not write that check without your funding. So this is how critical the funds are to this organization. And we do take information on these persons, they have to have a qualification, and they have to attend a Title I school. We can't buy the uniforms for the other schools, and we explain that to them. I will speak with Attorney Frazier often for things that we can and cannot do. Like this year, we've not been able to do other outreach, only Thanksgiving and Christmas. But we want to say thank you for what you have done, and we're hoping that you will continue to serve those who are in need. Any questions?
We can't ask questions,
Okay.
but thank you, Ms. Rogers, for coming down and sharing your comments. Have no other cards?
This time we move to new business. Adopt the rules of procedure for Caddo Parish operating and capital improvements budget for 2020.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, do we need to read the rules of the procedure?
We can read them, or they're attached or in front of you.
Okay.
You want them read, ma'am?
Does anyone need clarity on the rules for the procedure?
Where are the rules? I don't have them. It's attached.
They're attached in your PDF.
Can you give us a little second to read through this?
Sure. Mr. Clerk, if you would, read them, please.
Sure. Number one, budgets will be reviewed and approved in an order to be determined by consensus. No member of the general public will be permitted to speak except by a 2/3 vote of the body to suspend the rules to allow such input. A motion to adopt respective budget will place the budget on the floor for review, discussion, and questions on it. With a motion on the floor, commissioners can direct questions to the appropriate staff, agency, department, or initiate debate or comment. Each commissioner will have at least one opportunity to speak on each budget presented before any commissioner can speak again. A motion to adopt places the original ordinance as presented on the floor for debate. Motions may be accepted during the course of debate to amend budget line items. Each commissioner will have one opportunity to speak on the proposed amendment. At the conclusion of this round of debate, the question will be called on the proposed amendment and a vote taken before another motion to amend will be accepted. All proposed amendments to any budget ordinance will be voted upon in succession before a vote may be called on passage of the entire ordinance. A motion to call the question on the original motion will not be accepted until every commissioner has had at least one opportunity to speak or ask a question. Upon successful call of the question on the floor, a vote will be conducted by voting machine. 7 yea votes are required for adoption of any amendment to a budget ordinance. 7 yea votes are required for final passage of any budget ordinance, including any amendments which have been previously approved.
Move for adoption.
We don't need a move with that. It was just on.
That needs to be moved in second.
It does?
It does.
It
Yes.
does.
To the document you just read?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was moved by Commissioner Mike Middleton, and that was seconded by Commissioner John Atkins. Okay. Commissioner Jackson, are you on the board to speak?
Yes. Are
1
these
second. Commissioner Middleton, would you like to speak on your motion?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson.
are these the rules of procedures that we have always?
These are the
Are
rules
you
and
alive?
procedures since
So the amendments have always
2005
been
or so. Yes.
the amendment. I thought the amendments were the majority here or majority present.
No, this has always been the
7.
same.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just wanted clarification. Thank you.
Okay, I see no further discussion. Please vote. And that passes 10-0.
Next, we move to the 2020 operating and capital improvements budget. First ordinance is ordinance number 5911, capital outlay fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It was moved by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson, and that was seconded by Commissioner Stephen Jackson. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson, do you need to speak on your motion?
No, I don't.
Okay. Commissioner Doug Dominic?
Yeah, this has a lot of important things on there, but there's one issue that I disagree with concerning the monument due to the fact that it is allocated in this part of the budget. I'm voting no.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominic. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
I would like to, before we adopt this, amend ordinance number 5911 of the capital outlay fund to transfer $750,983 to the E. Edward Jones Housing Trust Fund. It is a separate special revenue fund. $200,000 will come from the capital outlay interest in 2020. The remaining $550,983 was previously appropriated in prior budgets. This amendment just transfers the funds from one fund to another fund. And if there are any questions about it, I would direct those questions to Ms. Erica Bryant for any specifications, and I'll try to answer any questions as well. But this is a fund. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, this is just a transfer of what we have already done. In conversation with administration, we set up an actual special revenue fund. I don't think that it was brought to their attention until we went back and looked at the actual legislation. And so this is basically just putting us in the right position that we're supposed to be in. So this is not adding any money to any budget. The money would have been there regardless. Am I correct, Ms. Bryant? So the money would have been there. So this is basically neutrality. The budget is still neutral at this point, Ms. Bryant?
That's correct.
So it'll either be there in the capital outlay fund or it'll be there in the special revenue fund.
Okay. That was motion by Commissioner Stephen Jackson. I have a second by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. Commissioner John Atkins.
Commissioner Jackson, I don't have a problem with this suggestion. My only concern is if it's in the capital outlay fund, or do you intend to use it for capital investment, or can, because capital is defined, as
Well,
you know, differently.
Correct. Well, it was never intended to be. Is that correct, Ms. Bryant? It was never intended to be. That was just kind of a error.
That's correct. When we went back and looked
misunderstanding.
at the ordinance, it should have been a separate separate special revenue fund. We put it in the capital outlay fund when it should have been a special.
So this would correct that.
Okay.
This would
Speak up.
correct that. I don't think he heard you.
One second.
Quite hear you, please.
I said that when we went back and looked at the ordinance, it did say that it should have been a special revenue fund, a separate special revenue fund. We placed the funds in the capital outlay fund. So now we're removing the funds from the capital outlay fund and putting them in a special revenue fund. You can purchase capital out of any fund. There's no requirement that it comes out of capital outlay fund.
So this is correcting that.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Commissioner John Atkins.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Vice President Chavez.
No, thank you, Chair. That actually answers my question. Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner.
I see no further discussion. Please vote.
That's for the amendment.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes 8-2. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, now we need to approve the fund itself as amended.
Okay.
So moved.
I didn't see no discussion. It's already moved. We just need to vote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've had much, we just need to, as amended.
Got to
need
vote as
on-
amended now.
Mm-hmm.
You voting?
Yeah, we vote for that.
Okay, and that passes 8-2. Next item, Mr.
Next, we
Clerk.
move to ordinance number 5912, general fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was moved by Commissioner Doug Dominic, second by Commissioner Stephen Jackson. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes, I'd like to make an amendment to ordinance 5912, general fund, to provide additional appropriations for the NPC for $25,000.
Okay, second. That was moved by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson and second by the Chair, Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. Would you like to speak on your motion?
The NPC over the last few years since the executive director, Mr. Clark, has taken over, has really been working more to get things done than under the previous executive director. And during that time, that tenure, we did cut their budget based upon the performance of the NPC and the things that we was trying to get done and they wasn't trying to listen to. So this is trying to actually put some of the funding back because he has been working with us to get things done. One thing that's evident was just a couple weeks ago when the inspectors went out into District 2 and part of District 1 and enforced the laws that were on the book. In that, we did talk to Mr. Clark and say that, hey, we need you to stop enforcement of this and we need to try to come up with a way to keep the people from having to pay that particular violation. And you know, he jumped on board and said, I'm willing to work with you guys. Just give me the language, or I won't do the enforcement. So things like that, you know, you kind of want to make sure that their budget is whole, at least on our part. And I think this 25,000 kind of puts them back to where they need to be at.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. Commissioner John Atkins.
Thank you, Madam President. I agree with Commissioner Johnson. I think the MPC has worked hard to regain the confidence of the citizens of the community, and I would vote in favor of reestablishing some of their funding, 25,000 of additional funding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Mike Middleton.
I make substitute motion to increase it to 35,000.
Second.
Okay. Substitute motion by Commissioner Mike Middleton and second by Commissioner Lewis Johnson. Commissioner Middleton, would you like to speak on your motion?
Before Roy Woman.
Okay. Yeah, it really is.
No, they are doing a great job, and it's evident, and we want to make sure they don't have any restraints as far as we can, as far as revenue goes.
Thank you, sir.
Your eyes have gotten real big there.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
It's like a complete reversal over 4 years. I'm not gonna vote for the 35, but I will support the 25, because as I often remind people, when we go down a particular road, there's no turning back. And so it will, over a period of time, I think we need something to build to. I've always said the MPC has the hardest job to tell people what they can and can't do. We task them with telling people what they can and can't do with their property. And so I think it's a good day to finally hear some of the people around this horseshoe recognize the work that the MPC has before them, as I have said, for 4 years. And hopefully it will not be lost, and we don't see a trend to reverse back, and we continue to go forward. So I don't know if I'm going to support, I can't support the 35, but I will support the 25. I believe that was the ask, was 25. So I'd like us to stay within our parameters and our guidelines. So thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Doug Dominic.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Stephen Jackson and Commissioner Johnson. You know, I think they have stepped up and done a much better job, but I think the ask is for 25. I don't think we'd really need to give them 35. I think $25,000 is enough, and I'll support the $25,000.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominic. Commissioner Lewis Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I too am proud to support an increase for MPC. And so if 25 is good, of course, I second this. I thought 35 would not be out of range. But I would like to ask, what was the amount that the MPC has been cut over the last year or two, or during the, if you would, during the prior administration? Do we have that information, or ballpark, if you would?
They were decreased in the past, but they've been restored to the level they were in the past.
I'm sorry?
They were decreased in prior budgets.
Yes.
But they have been restored to their level prior to. So it was at, we reduced them to 200,000. You went to 240, and in the current budget, it's 250,000.
Thank you very much.
That's it?
That is it.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, I see no further discussion. We're voting first on the amendment for 35,000. Please vote.
Who was the second on that amendment?
Lewis
The
Johnson.
second was Lewis
Okay.
Johnson.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, and that fails. Now we're voting on the substitute motion for 25,000.
If it comes up.
Okay, that passes 10-0. Now we're voting on as amended.
Yes, ma'am. The budget as amended. To adopt.
Whenever it comes up. Okay, please vote.
Mr. Smith?
And that passes 9-1. Mr. Smith, did you mean to vote no on that?
sorry, I got picked the wrong number.
Okay, that passes 10-0. Let the record reflect, Mr. Smith vote. Okay. Next item, sir.
Okay, next we move to ordinance number 5913, Public Works.
So moved.
Fund.
Second.
Okay, that was moved by Commissioner Doug Dominic, and that was seconded by Commissioner Lynn Carthorne. Commissioner Doug Dominic, do you want to speak on your motion?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
I'd like to englobo and adopt ordinance 5913, 5914, 5915, 5916, 5917.
Second.
All right, that was moved by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson to englobo and adopt 5913, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
Yes.
Second by the chair. Okay. I see no discussion. Please vote. Okay, that passes 10-0. Next item.
All right, next, that takes us to ordinance 5918, Juvenile Justice Fund.
Moved by the chair.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
I'd like to amend ordinance 5918 Juvenile Justice Fund for $50,000 to provide appropriation for special programs, specifically deferral programs, with a transfer from the oil and gas fund of $50,000.
A second. My board froze up over here. Okay. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson, would you like to speak on your motion?
Basically, this is to try to provide assistance for our juvenile justice area, and instead of incarcerating youth, that we will give a special line item that we can use some deferral programs that we might know about or they might know about, which gives them some additional funding to do instead of locking the children up.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner John Atkins.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll support this proposal, as I would rather see us spend $50,000 for additional programs than spend millions for additional facilities. I want to see our crime remain under control, and I'd like to explore ways to do that doesn't require us to invest huge dollars in additional capital infrastructure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay. I see no further discussion. Please, I'm sorry. I see Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
Do we know what those programs gonna be, Clay? So you have them identified?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If y'all could give us a list or share that with us,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Doug
Part of
Dominic.
the one is the group that came here a week or so ago, or a couple of weeks.
Yes.
That's in your district, Commissioner Lewis
Yes.
Johnson, that we were talking about, if I remember
RCCTH.
correctly.
Yes, sir.
We got it. So I'm for it too. I'm voting for it too. For the
Thank
same
you.
reasons that Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Atkins have said.
Thank you. That's it, Commissioner. Please vote. And that passes 10-0.
Then need to vote to adopt this amendment.
Okay. Now, let's vote to adopt as amended.
The Juvenile Justice Fund.
Juvenile
Yes.
Justice Fund. that's correct.
5918.
Mr. Cawthorn?
Okay, and that passes 10-0. Next item.
Let's move to ordinance number 5919, Health Tax Fund.
So move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, that was moved by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, second by Commissioner Vice President Mario Chavez.
Whatever you wanna call me.
Yes, all of that. Commissioner Stephen Jackson, would you like to speak on your motion?
No, I will just, well, I guess I will. I will just say that hopefully at some point, as I've shared with other folks in kind of sidebar conversations, this is a tax that I've always kind of talked about, and we can have a conversation about making it more relevant to 21st century needs that we have. Public health is great, but at some point in the 21st century, public health and primary care should be working hand in hand, and so hopefully we can have that community conversation, not anything that we need to address today, tomorrow, or even next year, but just as we go. So thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Mike Middleton. Okay. See no further discussion, please vote. And that passes 9-1. Mr. Smith, did you mean?
It hit yes.
Yes, okay. Let the record reflect, it's 10-0. Next item, please.
Next, move to ordinance number 5920, Biomedical Foundation.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
Okay, that was moved by Commissioner Doug Dominic, and that was seconded by Commissioner Lynn Carthorne.
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Dominic, would you like to speak on your motion?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Okay. See no discussion, please vote. And that passes 9-1. I know.
He is consistent.
Yes, he is. I said I'm a psychic.
You didn't
Watch,
ask
it's
me.
gonna be 9-1. Okay, next item, please.
Next, we move to ordinance number 5921, Riverboat Fund.
Moved by the chair.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
I'd like to amend ordinance 5921, the Riverboat Fund, $39,000 to provide appropriation for the following: Hope Connection, St. James, Gertrude's Gifts, Grace Projects, Northwest Louisiana Youth Golf and Education, and RISE.
Okay.
You have it.
Second
You
by the
need
chair.
You need to say how much each one of them is.
All right.
Second.
You
I
second.
think Todd's asking for that.
Do you have the list so I can have a copy of that?
Yes, I can get
Okay.
you a copy.
All right,
I mean,
thanks, sir.
I can give the amounts. That's fine. Everybody's. Okay, so for Hope Connection, 15,000. St. James, 4,000. Gertrude's Gifts, 5,000. Grace Project, 5,000. Northwest Louisiana Golf and Education, 5,000. And RISE, 5,000.
Okay. All right. So,
Run that list back again.
Hope Connection, 15. St. James, 4,000. Gertrude's Gifts, 5,000. Grace Project, 5,000. Northwest Louisiana Golf and Education, 5,000. RISE, 5,000.
I have to remove my second. Yeah, it's like for Hope Connections, the only one gonna get 15?
You want to amend it? That's fine.
I'll have to make an amendment. So has anybody said?
So do we-
mm-hmm.
been
I
second.
second by the chair.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been second, so.
Okay. Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Johnson, I'm familiar with all these except for Gertrude's Gifts. Could you elaborate on what exactly that is?
I would defer that to the chair.
Sure. Gertrude's Gifts is an organization that help at-risk youth, girls and especially. They are one of the sponsors who is having the mental health program. They go into all of the high schools as well as into the community, advocating for our youth.
Okay, good clarification. Thank you, LJ.
Okay. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
Yes, I'd like to amend that motion to basically the same, but to have Grace Project at 8,000 and the youth golf group at 6,000.
Second.
Okay, so we have a substitute motion from Commissioner Stephen Jackson, second by Commissioner Lynn Carthorne. Commissioner Jackson.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner John Atkins.
Thanks, Madam President. You know, it's a constant battle on NGOs and how to allocate funding. I know that a lot of additional requests came in, both from additional organizations and at higher levels than what we see here. So given that, that a large amount of restraint has been exhibited by the commissioners around the horseshoe, I'll go along with I'll reluctantly go along with the proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Doug Dominic.
Yeah, I don't know which one you're going along with. I would kind of say the same thing, but I will be supporting Commissioner Lyndon Johnson's motion for the amounts. I think that's a reasonable amount to go.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, your increase was 8,000 to Grace
Correct.
and 6,000 to
6,000 to the golf group.
golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a net increase of about $3,000.
Okay. Commissioner Mike
To
Middleton?
his motion, just 3,000.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we parse these out and vote on each one individually.
That dies for a lack of
Okay.
second?
I still have the floor then?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to vote no on these, all of them. There would be ones I would vote for, such as Boy Scouts of America, Caddo Council on Aging, Catholic Charities of North Louisiana, Christian Service Program Institute, Community Rural Renewal International, Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana, Girl Scouts of Louisiana, Holy Angels Residential Facility, Martin Luther King Community Development Corp. I appreciate the presentation was made today. Providence House, Querbeus Park Foundation, Robinson's Rescue, Salvation Army, Shreveport Green, and Volunteers for Youth Justice, Woody's Home for Veterans, which actually I don't think got anything, and then YWCA Northwest Louisiana. Those are the ones I would be voting for, so I'll be voting no against the entire
Okay.
project.
So you'll be voting against those you listed as well.
Yeah.
Vice President Chavez?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Middleton, I think for clarification, a lot of people thought your motion was for this last five
Right.
of LBJ's motion to vote on those individuals, not the entirety of the whole. So I did want to make it a point that the NGO committee did meet and went extensively over all those very tirelessly. And I know we went back and forth on that one a lot. Obviously, for the lack of a second, we will not be going over them. And for some of the same reasons that Commissioner Atkins stated, I will be voting for Commissioner Jackson's substitute and LBJ's, because I think these are well within the budget and worthwhile endeavors. So,
Well, point of order, I wasn't on that committee, so that's what.
I understand. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. I see no further discussion. We're voting on the substitute motion first, proposed by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, second by Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Please vote. Okay, and that passes 9-1. Now we are voting on to adopt as amended.
So move.
Second.
Okay.
Oh, we already
We already did.
Okay.
Yes. We just need to vote
Gotcha.
whenever the system comes up. Okay, please vote. Okay, and that passes 9-1. Next item, please, sir.
Next, we move to ordinance number 5922, Criminal Justice Fund.
Okay, moved by the chair.
Second.
That was second by Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Okay, I see no discussion, please vote. Okay, that passes 10-0. Next item, please, sir.
Ordinance number 5923, Oil and Gas Fund.
So move for adoption. Second.
Okay, that was moved by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, and that was second by Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Commissioner Jackson, do you want to speak on your motion?
Yes, finance, are we looking, not this budget, but just, I see a lot of truck traffic going, are leases being signed, are we getting any royalties? Long-term for this fund, how are we?
That would be, the royalties are up and the permit traffic is up.
But it's
That's
not,
your question.
but it's not enough to really, because wasn't this the fund that was really kind of being funded by oil and gas royalties or something like that?
Yeah, the oil and gas fund was being funded greatly with this oil and gas
Mhm.
royalties, yeah.
So do we see any projections, or have y'all not had an opportunity to take a look at, kind of long-term forecasting? How do we?
Well, long-term forecasting is anybody's guess when it comes to oil and gas business. However, we've seen an uptick in royalties this year.
Mhm.
And we projected to see a small uptick next year as well.
Okay, that's what I was asking. All right, thank you.
Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes, Madam President, I would like to amend ordinance 5923 Oil and Gas Fund for $50,000 to provide a transfer to the Juvenile Justice Fund.
Second.
It goes along with the amendment that I did in 5918.
Second, I'll second the motion.
All right, and that was moved by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson, and proudly second by Commissioner Doug Dominic. Commissioner Johnson, you already spoke on it. You need to add anything?
No.
Okay, I see no further discussion.
And this is just companion, basically.
Yes.
Funding.
Okay. Please vote. Okay, and that passes 9-1. Now, let's vote on as amended to adopt. Please vote. That passes 9-1. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to ordinance number 5924,
So
Economic
move to
Development
adopt.
Fund.
Okay.
Second.
That was moved by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, and it was seconded by Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. Commissioner Jackson? Would you like to-
No, I think not right now.
Okay.
24?
24, correct.
Commissioner Mike Middleton.
I'll be voting no, because again, we're not gonna parse them out. As I asked for in 5921, I'll be voting no on the entire Economic Development Fund.
I just figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, get back
Madam
in.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
I was on the board.
It's not working too well today. Commissioner Cawthorn, it's on now.
Okay. I want to amend ordinance number 5924 for a appropriation for $15,000 to the Northwest Louisiana Cultural and Heritage Festival
Okay.
in the amount of 15 grand.
Second by the chair. Okay. Commissioner Cawthorn, would you like to speak on your motion?
Yes, it's just clarify that in our last Economic Development Committee meeting, we did add this to the list of appropriations pending certain items. So I'm just bringing it on the floor
Okay.
for the budget approval today.
Commissioner John Atkins?
Thank you, Madam President. I won't be voting for that last amendment, or last proposed addition, but I would like to compliment the Chair of the Economic Development Committee for bringing in the total projected expenditures for the Economic Development Committee actually below budget. I for one have battled that for years and not been able to get there, so I commend Commissioner Cawthorn for his hard work in bringing in the economic development below budget. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Atkins, that's all. I'm on the board. I'd like to make a substitute motion to include $10,000 for ordinance 5924 to include WOD Gods. And the reason being it's a CrossFit Games that we achieved the economic impact study from the Sports Commission. We appropriated $10,000 for 2018, and when they had their event, the economic impact study showed that we got an ROI of 100% on the appropriation of the original $10,000. So we got our $10,000 back. We appropriated the money this year, but we're moving it to next year because they didn't have the event this year because of some issues that they had with the convention center. However, instead of 100 athletes, they're going to bring in 300. So they asked for twice as much of the appropriation, which would be $20,000. And like I said, we got a dollar for dollar return on our investment on the original. So I foresee that we'll get an exact ROI on the second. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I missed the discussion.
I was just asking for a $10,000 appropriation to be included for the WOD Gods. That's the CrossFit Games that they came here in 2018. And we achieved the economic impact study from the Sports Commission that the exact amount to the penny that we donated to them, we returned back on our taxes. This year, or next year rather, they're going to have 300 athletes coming into town as opposed to 100. So they'd asked for the double of the appropriation. And I foresee us getting our penny for penny ROI again, and it's going to be even bigger. It's really brought a lot of athletes from other areas and filled up the entire hotel system when they were here in town. It was a very good event.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Frazier?
I just wanted to clarify whether or not Commissioner Chavez's motion includes the prior motion for the cultural festival as well.
Yes.
We want to do it as a friendly amendment?
Yes.
We could do it.
Okay, that's that.
Friendly amendment?
Yes.
So it's both 15,000 for Northwest Louisiana and 10,000 for, what was the name again?
It's WOD Gods.
WOD Gods?
Yeah, they call it Workout of the Day Gods.
Okay.
It's people that look like Dr. Wilson. Very fit.
Commissioner Doug Dominic?
What is, did we have a request from the Sports Commission on the WOD Gods?
I don't know if the Sports Commission asked us for revenue, but they did provide us with the impact study after the event.
why are we providing them funds if they're not asking for it? I guess, you know.
No, they are. They are.
They are asking for it?
Yes, I'm not on economic development, so I wasn't able to.
Was it voted down in economic development then?
I didn't actually bring it forward.
Commissioner Cawthorn, was that asked for in, the meeting?
I don't recollect.
It was funded for the reappropriation.
Okay.
Last year.
And I guess it comes back to something that Stephen, Commissioner Jackson has said, you know, didn't the Sports Commission get the hotel funds? I mean, before we funded them because they weren't getting the funding. Now they're getting the tax funding supposed to do that, so.
I think you're asking, are we donating the money to the Sports Commission? No, we're donating it to the event.
Oh, to the event?
Yes, sir.
But, okay.
I just told them to go to the Sports Commission to get us, because I want to see if we're giving money to somebody, are we getting our ROI? And we got 100%, which I thought that was very good.
But this event was here before, they just weren't in 2019, but will we fund them for 2020?
It was actually going to be held this year.
Yeah.
But due to some conflicts with the convention center, they moved it to next year. And,
Okay.
and moving it's going to be twice as big.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
Yes, so they have an application in already?
They were appropriated for 10,000, and it was achieved, but they were going to use the money for 2019, but then, like I said, it didn't work out because of the convention center. So we moved the funds to 2020. We just carried them over. But because they're doing 300 athletes as opposed to 100, and the event's going to be twice as big, they asked for more. However, it didn't go through the economic development.
So they have received money already from the parish? I got a lot of movement, sound like it's a lot of moving parts.
They received the.
'Cause I don't ever remember Wide Gods and.
Yes, sir, it's funded.
They're being reallocated.
Is this the same as Fit for Life?
No.
Or
No.
Superman for Christ?
It's something similar in nature, but it's not the same.
Okay. So they received money, they were approved for money,
They were appropriated the funding but never received
but
it.
never received
Never
it.
used it this
So we
year.
reallocated
And
the
so
funds.
are we just rolling this over, finance?
Yes.
Is this just rolling something over, or is this new money?
Did they go by a different name?
That's
other
what I'm
than
trying to find, I don't even
Wildcard?
remember.
No, that was. I'm pretty sure that was the name. But I think we're rolling the 10 over and we're adding 10. is
That's
what
what
we're
he's
trying to
asking for,
achieve.
rolling the 10 over. and
That's what I'm
adding.
asking.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've already rolled the 10, and we're just asking to increase it.
Oh, so we're asking, so they want 20.
But I don't see it
Correct.
in the budget.
We haven't,
Well, we do recall having an application, but I don't see that we've ever allocated them any money in the past. That's why I was asking if it went perhaps by a different name, because it's not currently in the budget for 2019.
Right.
Unless it's by a different name and I'm not, and it's just not coming.
So we would essentially, sound like they need 20,000, should be the amendment, is what it sounds like. But his amendment was for 10?
His amendment was for 20.
Well, it's add the 10 to the other 10 that's already allocated for next year.
Okay.
Still 20.
Now I'm really lost.
It's
Anybody
still-
else?
No, because he's saying that he's still allocating for the 20,000, but he was saying rolling it over and reallocating the
Right,
funding
but-
with an additional 10, but I think it's.
I get that, but they can't find the first 10.
but to
Yeah.
roll it over, if you did, would have to say the amendment would be 20,000.
Right.
Okay.
So if they can't find the 10, we can't just make the 10 up.
No, I believe that was 2000. It might have been
It exists.
18, not,
It exists.
but I don't even see it in 18.
Well, if we didn't actually give it to them, it wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Approved
Okay.
19, it was approved 18 for 19.
For 19.
Yes, it's supposed to be used.
But y'all can't find it.
Well, it's not listed for 19. I think it was 18. So when they didn't get it, it went away.
It'd be in the book, wouldn't it? Be in the book.
It wouldn't be in the book if it was a appropriation for 18 that was not
Was it
used.
spent?
But we keep them for 3 years though in the book, don't we? We keep them up to 3 to 4 years in the book, right?
But 18 is in the book, but only as actual money spent. So if the money actually wasn't given, then it wouldn't be in 18. So if the money was appropriated but not actually spent in 18, it won't be in the book.
Okay,
Because 18 is only actual.
okay. So, back to my question, do they need 10 or do they need 20?
Yeah, they would need 20 because you'd have to reappropriate it.
The other
regardless
10.
Whether, what year, because they never got
Okay.
it. They only have 1 year to get it or it goes away.
Okay.
So they'd have to be reappropriated for 20.
And, okay, thank y'all. It just, I was confused, maybe I'm slow. I never was good at math. Commissioner Carter, I know we approved is this the thing with Mr. Hardy? Or is this the one with Mr. Marshall as well?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just some interesting developments here. Do they have an application?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
Is it Commissioner Jackson?
That is it.
All right.
Wasn't a very good answer. Wasn't a very good answer.
For
Do they have an application?
Do you need to, you want to get on the board?
Oh, no, sorry, I apologize.
It's okay. You need to get on the board. Commissioner Lewis Johnson?
Do they have an application?
Northwest Louisiana Cultural, I'm not sure that we have one for them.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
But we can definitely get one.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson, you back on the board?
I'd like to make a motion that we take these two individually.
That dies for a lack of a second.
I'll do that if you want.
He died.
Okay.
Right.
Boy, I'm gonna take that.
Yes, we're ready to vote.
I'm back on the board. I'm in the queue.
You never left out. Look,
Oh, okay.
it's just going. Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we take these two items separately.
That dies for a lack of a second.
Well, good gosh, I did it just a second. It's deja vu. Just did it a minute ago.
All right.
Let's vote on it.
Well, I can't vote for them combined right now.
What's the motion? What we voting on?
To separate them.
It's separating them.
To vote on, to vote on Lynn Cawthorn's, the Cultural Heritage Festival by itself, and then vote
I'll make the
for
motion again.
Chavez's by itself.
We already did it.
What's the dollar amount for Chavez?
$20,000, the way I get it, $10,000 that would be carried forward, and another 10, but the issue is, was Wad God ever,
Well, they got books over there now,
so,
so they
so I
can
guess I
answer
need to
that
get on. So, I don't know, was Wad God ever in the queue, so to speak?
Point of order, Dr. Wilson, I don't want to appropriate 20 if they've already been appropriated
Yes,
10.
sir, they should have gotten 10 this year.
I just want to
And
increase
just
it by
carried
another
over
10.
Because of the issue with the convention center, so you actually an additional 20, I mean
Okay.
10.
Okay.
So that would give you 20.
I like these guys, but I don't want to give them 30. I think 20's enough.
Right, that's
So.
correct.
Commissioner Dominic?
So,
they're getting 10.
okay, so I think, we're talking about separating these apart.
Yes. That is, if, the motion that is on the floor right now is to
Okay.
separate the two appropriations.
Well,
So we have to vote on that first.
let's vote on that first.
And if that passes or fails, then we go to the next motion.
Okay.
Okay?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Jackson?
I want to make, Jackson.
I'll wait to see what Commissioner Lyndon Johnson.
Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson?
I think we need to get clarification about is in the books. I've found 17, 18 books. So they looking through those now to see if they was actually allocated any money in those years in order to be carried over. Because if they're not in the book, then that means that they didn't ever get 10,000. So the motion would be for 10,000 would be 10,000 only and not a carryover. Because there wasn't nothing to be carried over if they can't find it in the books. So we can wait on finance to answer that question, and then.
Apparently we can't find it in the book, but we know they were funded. Because they received a letter, and that's what they were acting on, because they did communicate with us about not being able to use the funds in 19.
Right.
And actually be used in 20. So there's this issue, we would resolve the issue over here, but just for the record, they did get $10,000 in 2019.
Okay.
So what was being asked, I believe, is to reappropriate that money and add an additional 10,000, so there would be a total of $20,000 for 2020.
Yes.
But you can't find the 10,000, initial 10,000 in the book.
I think perhaps, my only explanation up to this point, without being at my office to do some more research, is perhaps it was a timing issue. It could have been an ordinance that y'all voted on separately from the budget, and it was adopted after we went to print. but it's currently not in the book. I could go run and see if we have a separate ordinance where we appropriated the money in the past. I can't speak to it exactly, but it's not in the book, but I can't say
If you
we
could
weren't
get someone
appropriate.
to check into that, I would appreciate it.
We can.
I mean, I've been down this road before, on another issue. It wasn't that I had, but that another commissioner had, so I just wanna make sure before we blindly vote on something that wasn't.
Do we need to recess?
No, let's.
I think I got a solution for it.
Why don't we keep it going and get this other stuff taken care of, and come back to this?
All right, Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson, you still have the floor.
I would like to make a motion, but I can't make it now since.
I think I got it.
Unless
Okay.
y'all suspend the rules and let me
No, I
make a
got it.
motion.
Okay.
I would like to suspend the rules to skip, ordinance number 5924 and go to 5925.
Second.
Okay.
Until we get clarification on the, allocation for water.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it was seconded by Commissioner Stephen Jackson. Okay?
So I guess I
Jackson.
shouldn't englobo the rest of these. I guess I shouldn't englobo the rest of these.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah,
You can.
I didn't know if anybody else had anything, so that's why I just started there and say you can go.
I guess I shouldn't do that to kill some time.
Yeah, you can. You, Commissioner Stephen Jackson?
I won't.
Go ahead.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, can I make a motion to, go ahead and englobo, 5925, 5926, 5927, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32.
Second. It was motion by Commissioner Doug Dominic and second by the chair.
To englobo and adopt.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we need to vote on Lyndon's motion to suspend the rules to skip this first? And then
We're voting on your motion first. Your motion is the last motion.
Okay.
Well, no, we need to vote, I'm sorry, on his motion to suspend the rules first.
Yeah, and then we'll come back to my motion.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll redo it.
Okay. So, Commissioner Doug Dominic, no one else is in the queue. She was on the board.
I know, but we'll wait. And a point of order, Mr. Hopkins, we need a certain amount of number of commissioners to suspend the rules, correct?
You need just a simple majority to suspend the rules.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let's see.
I think when we adopted those rules in the beginning, it was,
2/3.
yeah, I think it was 2/3.
That's 2/3 for this.
Everybody's in agreement.
Yeah, we all need it for the clarification. Okay?
It's no problem.
That's
Parliamentary
it.
skills.
I'm sorry, Madam President, are we voting?
Yes, sir. We're voting
LB.
on
Suspend the
suspending the rules until we get the requested information. Okay, and that passes 9-1. Commissioner Lewis Johnson?
That's correct.
Okay. And now the next motion has been made by Commissioner Doug Dominic and second by the chair to englobo and adopt 5924 through 5932.
That's correct.
Okay?
No, well, it's 5925.
Yeah, 25.
25, I'm sorry. We're waiting on 5924. 5925 through 5932. Okay? Please vote. Okay, and that passes 10-0.
And do we need to make a motion for a recess for 5 minutes or 10
The
minutes?
chair makes the motion to recess for 10 minutes.
Second.
That passes by acclamation. Nobody can stand. Motion to leave the Congress.
You can't do it. You only come here one time a year now, you know what? You get older like me. When I was first on the commission, every month you get down here for something. Every month, man.
It's in there.
I saw that, but I didn't think that was it.
Hey, it's Eric. Is Ada back up here? Tell her we got her.
It's in the book.
It is? Yeah. How much was it?
2,000.
When was that?
2019. There's a different name.
What's the name?
The name is competition planning.
Okay. So we need to roll that over so we can put it over again.
Yeah, they was running out and
Does it go by a different name?
you don't have to do the big glass.
Right when you go down, we found that we did one for the application. It's like,
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They did.
Tells us what we need to do. Yeah, I know. That's
To move back into.
Second.
Okay, is there any opposition? That passes by acclamation.
Okay.
All right. Okay. At this time, we have a motion on the floor.
To separate.
The motion that is on the floor is to separate.
To separate the
and vote
appropriations?
individually
Correct.
for the substitute motion that was by Commissioner Stephen Jackson and that was seconded by Vice President Chavez. Okay? Please vote.
We're voting on the separation, right?
Yes, only on the separation at this time. And that passes 7-3. Okay? Now, at this time, we're voting on the substitute motion by Commissioner Lynn Carthorne, and that was seconded by,
Me?
His would be first.
I think we should vote on mine first.
okay?
His was last.
Yeah, my substitutes to his.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Mr. Chavez would be next.
There was a friendly amendment, but now they separate. He wants to separate the two.
Well, if it was a friendly amendment, it should still be your motion. Attorney Frazier?
Unless you all have voted to separate the two.
We just did.
Okay.
Did you vote to separate the
Yes.
two? or
Yes.
did you-
That's what
Okay,
we
well
just voted
then
on.
You take the last one first.
Okay.
And I think point of clarification, they did find it was under competitive partners DBA Wad Gods, and it was appropriated 10,000 for this year, so we'll carry that over and then add the additional 10K.
Okay. So we're voting on Commissioner Mario Chavez's amendment,
That's correct.
which is 10,000, reallocate 10,000 with an additional $10,000 appropriation.
That's correct.
Okay, and that was seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Doug Dominic.
Yeah, it was Dominic.
Okay. And it passes 9-1. Okay, now we're voting on Commissioner Lynn Carthorne's motion.
That was 15,000 for the Northwest Louisiana Culture Heritage Festival.
And that was seconded by the chair.
By the chair, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right.
I shouldn't be in it.
Okay, please vote. That fails 6-4. Okay,
We need a motion to adopt as amended, or make a
now
motion.
at this time, we need to vote as amended
That's correct.
and adopt.
For 5924. Yes.
Mr. Jackson, please.
What we doing?
Voting on 5924.
Oh, I'm waiting on the thing to come back.
Amended and adopt. Okay, and that passes 9-1.
That takes care of all the funds. Now we need to adopt the budget, the 2020 budget.
Moved by the chair.
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry, Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson.
I'd like to reconsider ordinance number 5924 for the amount of $10,000 for the North Louisiana Cultural and Heritage Festival.
Second.
Were you on the prevailing side, Commissioner?
Yeah, I just don't just
Yeah,
do
he
it
was
now.
on the See, it was 6-4.
No.
No. You
You voted for
it
it.
failed.
It failed.
Somebody from the failing side has to move for the reconsideration.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
I thought it was on the
Prevailing.
as
prevailing side
amended.
has to.
So as amended, I was on the prevailing side, so I'm coming back with a motion to amend it.
For the whole
No,
ordinance.
for, you wanted to reconsider it for that particular appropriation, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so when you all voted on adding that appropriation into the ordinance, you can only reconsider it if somebody who voted against it moves for reconsideration.
That would only be me, right?
No, it was
No, there
6-4.
were 4 no votes.
Okay.
I need one of 4 no votes to.
Okay, I thought it was on the whole adjusted amendment as it passed, and I was on the prevailing side of that. My bad. So I'm good. If that's the rule, that's the rule. Other than that, move to adjourn.
Wait,
We
no,
gotta-
no,
we
no,
gotta
no, no.
Adopt the
We
20.
gotta adopt the
Budget.
budget as
You under-
we've
Commissioner Lewis
adopted all the
Johnson.
funds. Now we need to adopt the 2020 budget.
Guys, hold on 1 second. Commissioner Lewis Johnson.
I want to make sure that my vote was for it.
It will.
Can I make sure?
It was.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Madam President.
that's it. We don't have anyone from the, all right. Commissioner Doug Dominic.
I move for adoption of budget ordinances number 2020,
Second.
We already
No,
got
just
that
the
on the
budget,
phone.
the 2020 budget.
2020 budget.
Yes.
It was moved by the chair.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
I'll be more than happy, on the North Louisiana coach, I'll be more than happy to revisit that, Commissioner Carthon. I think I sent you a text message and we spoke. I'll be more than happy to revisit that.
Wait, right now?
As soon as possible.
Which is right now.
But not today. Let's get together, let's have some coffee, and
Ooh,
let's
it's gonna be a long one, so no recessing on that.
yeah, let's
Commissioner-
get together, let's
Are you
have some
trying to get
coffee,
on board?
and we can revisit that issue, but not today.
That was it for hope. For commissioners, I think we're ready to,
All right, we
vote.
voting on the budget?
Voting on the
We're
ordinance.
voting on
Budget.
To approve the budget.
of 2020.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, thank you, commissioners, for your
Bye-bye.
due diligence in approving the budget for 2020. Did you just vote against that?
Yeah. Other years.